Yo, what's good, y'all? And today I'm going to be telling you guys how to solo Yar'Thul and Thorian so you can farm as many Dragon Bone or Blight Rock weapons as you need, as well as just be able to get some trading value so you can get the stuff that you need to be able to start fighting MV, such as like Chaos Orb, Echo Shards, Sun weapons, and stuff like that. But yeah, the first part I want to explain is that you are going to want a min-max build, or at least mostly min-maxed. It doesn't have to be fully min-maxed, but I would like min-max to a point that like you don't have to, like, the only thing I'd leave out is a maxed out Covenant. Like, I don't have a maxed out Covenant on this build, even though I have like 40 hours of playtime on it. But make sure you have all your right gears, preferably your weapon and enchant. Definitely have your artifact and your armor for sure. Have really good stats, and I would at least try to have good mastery, like a big note or two. Like, especially if you're on Brawler, make sure you have oppression. Just make sure you have that at the very least. But yeah, I'm gonna be showcasing it on Brawler though, just because I feel like this is one of the easiest classes to solo bosses on right now. Yeah, let's go to Volcano. There is a reason I'm making this video though, and it's because I know it's like a lot of people, they're like, hey man, why can't I solo bosses? And then like what they're doing is they're like going into the boss and just like eating all the hits. There's a good in between of like killing and setup and like guarding, because you do need to guard when soloing bosses, especially on Thorian. And so for Yar'Thul, he is by far the easiest boss to solo. I wouldn't even really call him a boss. A lot of the times, if you really want to risk it, you can kill him in like 1 to 2 turns, depending on your build. Alright, so here we are, turn 1. If you have Inglorious Locket, meditate first turn, if not guard. So I have Inglorious Locket, so I'm just going to meditate first turn. And when you're soloing Yar'Thul, there's one move you're looking for, and you're waiting for him to use the move called Hellfire. Hellfire is his like highest damaging move other than Armageddon. So I'll usually just like spam guard until he Hellfires, especially because Magma Beam or Magma Pillar's up right now. So there's no point in me like risking hitting him. Magma Pillar's gone now. He used Beam, which is his other really high damaging move. We could probably go in now without much risk. So if you're on Brawler, you're just gonna Dangerous Mixture. I mean, as you can see, that did a BS amount of damage. Yar'Thul has like negative defenses for no reason. We could honestly probably party table off that. I don't even know if we need the other thing. Yeah. Yar'Thul moment, man. This boss is really underwhelming, I think, to say the least. I guess we'll Soul Absorb. Nice, we got a Covenant up. Yeah, that is how you solo Yar'Thul. So we'll do it one more time so I can explain it a little bit better. Here we are, turn 1 again. So basically, as I said before, if Vainglorious Locket, meditate, if not guard. And again, we're gonna try to wait for him to like use Hellfire and Magma Beam. This is the way to go about it if you're not super confident. If you are confident that you won't die and you know your build very well, like I could just go in, Dangerous Mixture. I could eat that Magma Beam. I'd take a lot of damage, but I know my build does enough damage to not have to worry. Same with the Hellfire. Does a lot of damage, but I know my build is good enough to not have to be worried in this situation. It's like we're just gonna block this, and because I know my build, he's either dead or one shot here. So boom, yeah, and he's dead. But yeah, so if you really know your build, you can risk it. But when Magma Beam is thrown out, when he still hasn't used Hellfire at the start of the match, make sure to guard, just because you're taking like needless risk when you're doing that. Yeah, that's how to solo Yar'Thul. Now let's move on to Thorian. So puzzle, I got booted out of my PS, whatever. Puzzle is gonna be another annoying part. I wonder if this person already started it. Oh yeah, they must have already started it. I wonder if they already have it all done then. Yeah, you're gonna find one here, 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 here. Oh, I think there's one here too. You can find a couple on this tree. It doesn't look like any of them are here this time around though. You can find 2 on this thing. Yeah, blue T, purple R. You can find a couple on this and right here, but there's none there right now. Oh, it looks like he got the puzzle. But yeah, puzzle is pretty easy if you just like know where you're looking. And now here comes a part where I actually hear a lot of people complain, and I think it's the most valid complaint, is that soloing him, if you don't know the tips or the tricks, bro, it is hard. Not just that, I would also say that like the parkour is probably super annoying to a lot of people too. But the thing is you should never have to do parkour. And a lot of people say, well, I don't have cauldron, so how am I supposed to cauldron jump? So if you do have a cauldron jump right here, like about right here, I would say. And that's just like going like this, going like this up against a cauldron until it sends you up into the air flying. Got it a little bit there. I'm not a good cauldron jumper, if I have to be honest. I'm like a like D4. I'm a D4 cauldron jumper, bro. But you actually don't need a cauldron to jump up to this parkour. If you go up on this little corner, you can actually go up against this corner. And if you go on this side and just A dash, as you can see, we're getting it a little bit. I'll get it eventually. Yep, there we go. Yeah, you don't need a cauldron to get up here. And I think that's a very important tip, because a lot of people that don't go alchemist are like, well, I can't even do Thorian solo. You can just use the corner, man. Just use the corner. It's that simple. Yeah, going into the actual Thorian fight now. Thorian is a little bit more complicated. To me, Thorian has a lot of like what if scenarios. So if you see that he has enough damage over time, so like dot, so that's gonna be like ghost flame, I think poison, stuff like that. To get him below half, you're gonna want to guard for blasphemous, but that's later on in the fight. First of all, first turn, again, if you have Inglorious Locket, always meditate on the first turn of these first couple bosses. They always have some kind of gimmick that they'll do on the first turn. Yar'Thul always Infernos. This guy always does like the plague puzzle thing, the Undertale shit. But now, what I'll usually do is I like to hit an immolation, because Thorian is a longer setup. So, okay, luckily the hex went away there. But so for Thorian, and this is gonna sound weird at first, you're gonna do 2 strikes, a dangerous mixture, and then a party table. Because if you do dangerous mixture, strike, party table, he'll be on fizz when you party table and he'll just heal. So it'll do literally nothing. So we want to strike first to get 2 stacks of our fractured. And now that we have 2 stacks of fractured, we're gonna go in with dangerous mixture. Luckily he's just gonna overflow and curse here. So that's like a almost best case scenario, I'd say. So yep. We got fractured, we got vulnerable, we got damage buffs, he's got weakened. We're looking pretty strong here, so we're gonna party table. And you could always save party table if it doesn't look like you're gonna do a lot of damage. That was absurdly lucky. What the hell? But yeah, this is a scenario where I see everything right now. He's below half, he has enough energy, he is going to Blasphemous Obliteration next turn. And instead of doing like Steel Body or meditating, which would be a death sentence, or using another move, I'm just gonna guard, because it's free damage reduction. It's gonna save me from this ult. And the best scenario I can think of where you're gonna benefit from guarding the most is when he does a crit. When Thorian crits with his ult, I've had it do 95 plus damage to me. Here's that clip on screen. But yeah, so his ult is not a joke, bro. It's scary as hell. I can't even lie. Also, to me, soloing bosses is a really good way to get soul absorbs. I always am able to get this soul absorbs, but yeah, let's go in for one more attempt so I can try to explain it a little bit better. All right, we're in another Thorian. I'm gonna explain it turn by turn again, just in case people didn't really get it from the last one. But so Vainglorious Locket, you know, I have first turn, so I'm gonna meditate, and then we're gonna kind of want to just like, again, wait for him to do Hexing Burst, which he almost always does second turn. And I don't know why it's been going away recently. I think it might go away because of like the second part. I actually don't know how that works. If anyone knows how that works, explain it in the comments, please. But so we're gonna do the same strat. Strike twice. And I will say, if at any time your setup kind of gets like blundered a little bit by like him doing shit like a crit on Cess Breath or something, never risk the build to like do damage. Like if you're like about to die after Cess Breath crit, don't like get him below half and then just die to the ult. Just like wait cooldowns and do your setup again. It's not worth it, gang. It's not worth it, I swear. But so we have a decent bit of damage buffs. We got our shit on him. He blocked, so our crit didn't actually do that much damage, which is a little bit depressing. But with him at this health, though, we can probably hopefully do like a Ghost Flame and get him right near half. That got him below half. So basically, if this crits right now, I die. Simply put, if it crits, I die. It critted, and we almost died, but luckily we didn't. So this is where that solo knowledge comes into play. We have to guard. If we try to go for damage, see like, oh, I gotta kill him before I die. No. One Cess Breath and you're dead. And I mean that so realistically. If you have a Plague and he hits a Cess Breath, you're dead. Once it starts to get too fast, by the way, on those, you can just spam keys and sometimes you'll get away with it. But yeah, as you can see, our Cursed is gone. We didn't want to heal when we had Cursed. And we're just gonna pop a medium heal pot. And now all the risk is gone. Like, it does get a little bit risky sometimes, but never like put yourself too much into like risk territory for damage. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, now that we did that, we're just gonna go in with like a strike to get fractured. So as you can see, we're getting kind of low again. Almost makes me want to heal. Now I'm gonna do something for a good reason. I'm gonna strike again and actually heal him a little bit. And it's for a good reason, bro. I swear. Because once we heal him a little bit... Ah, we got Plague there. That's tough. We can Ghost Flame, and then we'll Party Table next turn. Good shit dodging that. We have a good bit of damage buffs. Not as much as I really want, but that's fine. So we're just gonna do this, and boom, he's dead. Oh, and we just got a Blight Rock Dagger. Sweet. But yeah, that is how we solo Thorian. Again, Thorian attempts can get a little sketch sometimes. If you get something good, I'd recommend depoting it before you go back in for more solos, because Thorian can be inconsistent. If he crits with Cess Breath, it's really detrimental to the run. If he crits with Blasphemous Obliteration, most of the time it'll just straight up off you, bro. It'll just kill you, like most of the time. But yeah, that is really all I gotta say about soloing these two bosses. If you have any more questions, ask in the comments and I will try to respond to them. And if you guys have any other videos you want, like tutorials or like showcases or like specific builds, maybe I'll want to see like Amorous with a specific thing or like Infurion with a specific thing, make sure to leave it in the comments and I'll get around to it eventually. And with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.